Hey y'all, so in today's video I will be testing out my HTV Ront heat press machine. I will be trying 4 different heat transfer methods and finding the right temperature and pressure settings for each. So if you're interested, let's get into it. So the heat transfer methods I will be using today are DTF prints, HTV, a screen print transfer, and also a design from my white toner printer. So let's see how each one turns out. So I've already done an unboxing and setup for this machine, and I will have that video linked below if you want to check it out. So the very first design that I am working on today is the DTF print. So I'm just giving this t-shirt a quick pre-press before I get started. And this one calls for 300 degrees for 10 seconds. I am starting out with 70 pounds of pressure, but for the other designs, I will be adjusting the pressure just to see if there's a noticeable difference between using a lower and higher setting. So now that I've pulled back the transfer paper after letting it cool, I did notice that some of the corners were lifting. So next time I will be increasing the pressure to more than 70 pounds. But for that initial press, it just needed a bit more pressure to get a solid bond. So going forward, what my settings are for DTF prints is 300 degrees at 10 seconds with 170 pounds. So now we're moving on to HTV, and for this one I will be using a sweatshirt. So I did increase the pressure to 150 pounds, and of course my HTV is set at 305 degrees, and I will be pressing it for 12 seconds. So my first peel was super smooth like butter, y'all. I even accidentally touched the design and it burnt me a little bit. But at 150 pounds of pressure, the transfer film came off with no issues. And I am using the Sizer brand HTV for this one, and I think it turned out great. So yeah, I think these settings are solid and I will not be changing this one. So here I'm running my fingers across the design just to make sure that it's pressed into the sweatshirt nicely. I did this after the first press and again after the second one, and I did not feel any lifting, so everything feels perfectly secure. All right, so moving on to screen prints, I am keeping it at 170 pounds and 325 degrees for 10 seconds, though I usually only press my screen prints for about 7 seconds. So my camera ended up dying, y'all, right when I was pulling the sheet back, so I did not get that part on video, but here is the final result. This one turned out great at 170 pounds. I think I've pretty much found my settings, but as you can see here, I am running my hand over it and there was a little bit of lifting, but I am pretty confident that the second press will take care of that. And with the parchment paper for the second press, just like I thought, y'all, it sealed the design nicely into the shirt with no lifting. All right, y'all, so now I'm moving on to my last design for the day. This is the white toner design, and here's the design that I chose. Now I am gonna go ahead and marry these two sheets together using a different heat press machine, and then we'll test it out. So for my white toner designs, I am using 300 degrees at 30 seconds for my initial press and 170 pounds of pressure. So since this is a cold peel, I am going to move this shirt off the heat plate and let it cool on the table. So while it is cooling, y'all, I do want to show you all my T-Seal silicone sheet from Uninet. And this is what I use for my final press, and you'll see later why it is so important. So it actually helps to remove the shine from the design for a cleaner finish. And one side of the sheet has like a rubbery feel, and then the other side of the sheet is more like a paper feel. So you will know exactly what side you need to use to press into the shirt. So here I am rolling the paper back rather than pulling it straight off. This seems to work best for me. This method will help prevent any lifting or damage to the design. So this is what it looks like after removing the film from the first press. Now, if you're new to white toner, you might be thinking, wait a minute, this looks way too shiny. But this is exactly where the T-Seal silicone sheet comes in handy. And for my T-Seal, I do have to drop the temperature to 270 degrees for 20 seconds. So this is the final press with the white toner design, and here's where that silicone sheet comes into play. So you want to make sure that you place the rubbery side face down onto the design. Okay, so here I am removing that silicone sheet, and this is what it looks like. And as you can see, y'all, that shine is completely gone. So like I said before, don't worry about that shine because this step will take care of it. So I do like this new machine a lot, especially with the added feature of being able to adjust the pressure. I think it is such a game changer for any type of design that you are pressing. And today I tried 3 different settings. So I did 70 pounds, 150 pounds, and also 170 pounds of pressure. And I will say that moving forward, I will be sticking with 170 pounds for all of my heat press designs. And if you're still here watching, you are definitely my kind of person. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today. And until next time, y'all, take care of yourself and embrace your journey.